Hey everyone, how's it going? Good to see ya. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. So here we are closing in on the end of December. 2017 has come and gone. We are getting ready to enter 2018, and there's a lot to get excited for. The amount of games releasing next year, if it is just even half of the level of 2017, I already know we are going to have a fantastic year. But going into 2018, there are a couple of things that I personally think need to be improved upon. For this video in particular, I wanted to talk about, of course, the Nintendo Switch. I've owned the Switch for a little over a month now, and as y'all have seen from all the content that's been on the channel, I actually love this little guy. My first impressions of the system compared to its reveal, it's been a complete 180. There's a lot to love about the Nintendo Switch, and there's a lot of things with the Switch that really paint a brighter picture for Nintendo. Because as many of you guys know, Nintendo has pretty much lost the console gamer for the better part of 2 generations. Both the Wii and the Wii U, while one was a success, the other one was just a straight up failure. And it just really felt like Nintendo was losing grasp of what really mattered long term, and that was the longevity of their platforms with the best of everything. First party, third party, competent online ecosystem. So with the Nintendo Switch, here we are again. This is a new console. I don't even know if it's a new generation considering it just released at an awkward time. I mean, the beginning of the year while PlayStation and Xbox were still around. But there was a lot of things that the Nintendo Switch did right on release, but there's way more room for improvement. Even though I love the Switch and I think it's a great device, this thing, I'm just going to come out and say it, is pretty much ass compared to PlayStation 4 and Xbox. And I already know so many people are going to say, why are you comparing one console to another? All consoles are meant to be... Cut that shit out right now, because y'all have been using this same damage control excuse for the Wii, for the 3DS, and for the Wii U. The Nintendo Switch, while it's great for playing games, this thing needs features. This thing needs standards and practices that exist on all systems. Why Nintendo chooses to avoid these things is beyond me. I mean, they're perfectly acceptable with doing downloadable content and season passes, but to give us things that actually matter and help out with the system long term, it just feels like Nintendo is not listening. But here we go. These are some of the things that I want to see added to the Nintendo Switch in 2018 and beyond. Of course, I'm not going to talk about some of the more impossible things to put on the system. The boat has already sailed for Nintendo, adding in Bluetooth support or coming out with a stronger Switch as of now. Maybe down the road with a stronger version of the Switch with the Tegra X2, we could see some of those improvements. So from a power perspective, I'm not really going to harp on them for that. However, there is one thing in particular that I think Nintendo needs to do a lot better job at, and that is quality control of game performance on their platform. Now, I have to explain this because some people are going to take this the wrong way. When I say quality control, I'm talking about how these games run on the Nintendo Switch. Looking at some games that released this fall in particular, some of the biggest titles such as LA Noire, Skyrim, Rocket League, and recently WWE 2K18, while the majority of those games were quality ports, we had a title like WWE 2K18 that was pretty much unplayable on the Switch, dropping down into the low frame rates. It looked basically like a PS1 game for the most part, and that is something that we do not need to see happening on the Nintendo Switch, because this device right here is more than capable of that. Now, I understand what y'all are saying that, oh, you should be blaming the developers and the publishers and not Nintendo themselves. But guys, let's be real here. Nintendo is trying to sell this system to the core gamer, to the core audience. They're trying to win back the people that they lost. And when these gamers have to make a choice between playing a game on one platform or another, when they see that this version of the game is broken beyond belief, that is something that Nintendo needs to do. That is something that Nintendo needs to step in and, I don't know, help out some of these developers, because they're in a really interesting point of view. Considering that they lost so much support with the Wii and the Wii U, if they want to entice more developers to come back to their system, I think that they should send out some of their reps to go help them port the game onto the Switch. Maybe pay for the port if they can. It's a different situation when you have one of the best-selling consoles of all time, like the PlayStation 4. You don't really need to go out there and attract all of the third parties. They come to you and they make the games, and they know if they want the games to sell, they have to put quality into that. But with the Switch, it's still an unproven device. Even though it's sold 10 million units, let's be real, a lot of people are skeptical. The Wii sold a lot of units. The Wii U for its first couple of months sold respectably well. So why wouldn't Nintendo go the extra mile and help out some of these studios to bring their games over? We already know that they were working with some of the bigger publishers like Bethesda for Skyrim, and some of the indie studios as well said they just got glowing support from the guys over at Nintendo. That stuff is great, but I definitely think we need to see more of that, especially going forward into the future when you are trying to put games like Wolfenstein 2 on the system. I'm just going to be real. I think Wolfenstein 2 is going to run okay on the console, but it kind of worries me. It worries me that this game is going to come out, this game is going to be full price, and it's going to perform pretty much like ass. The whole portability aspect is cool, being able to take games anywhere, it's great, but I definitely think more optimization needs to come with these titles, especially for stuff that you do in-house. The first-party games, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and recently Xenoblade Chronicles 2, all of those games on release had some type of performance issues whatsoever. Whether they needed a resolution bump with a patch, or they had to fix frame rates, or just whatever needed to be done, they fixed it post-release. And while that is good, it's great that they're not leaving those games out to die. This isn't something that needs to be happening with first-party titles. This stuff should be ready to go on release, especially considering that I'm pretty sure most of those games, like Zelda for example, they were built with the Wii U in mind and ported to the Switch. So, if you are going to be making a game directly for the console, why aren't you optimizing it to its best degree? You understand what I'm saying? So going forward, I don't want to see no Nintendo titles come out that are running at like 720p, 30 frames per second docked mode, and then in handheld, it's just a stuttering mess like with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. We don't need to see more of that. Now, moving on to the next point, which kind of goes in tandem to helping out the developers. What is going on with this Switch tax, man? The Nintendo Switch, the games that you buy on the system just seem to be more expensive for the most part compared to the other console counterparts. There are so many games that launched on PlayStation, Xbox, PC for one price like L.A. Noire, and then on the Switch they were $10 more. Now we all know the reason as to why. It's because the Switch cartridge is expensive to manufacture. It's unlike the Blu-ray disc, which you can pretty much get for cheap. So if a developer wanted to put a game on Switch physically, it is going to cost more. Especially if you have these bigger games like L.A. Noire, games that take up multiple gigs. If you wanted to put all that stuff on one cartridge, it's going to cost an insane amount of money. And again, I understand what y'all are saying. This is something that should fall on the third parties, but guys, you do not understand. When it comes to these games, you need to appeal to the third parties. You need to help them out the most you can. Because what happens when a game comes out, it can't fit on the Switch, so they do a half and half thing like L.A. Noire where you get like 10 gigs on the cartridge and then 13 gigs you gotta download. That stuff isn't cool. So maybe Nintendo, for like the first year or two of the Switch's life, they cut back on the cartridge cost. Maybe they front the bill for that sort of thing. I'm telling you, if they were able to do this stuff and help out, you would see so much more games come out on Switch, so much more physical titles come out on Switch, and there would be complete parity across the board. No longer do you have to go out and say, man, I'm paying more for the Switch version and I'm getting arguably the worst version out of the 3 or 4 platforms that I own. That is something that nobody should be expecting when it comes to the Switch. So that right there is my second point on what Nintendo needs to improve going forward from a developmental side of things. Now let's move forward into things that I think are more realistic, things that definitely are probably coming, and they might be revealed at the rumored January Direct for Nintendo Switch. First things first, we need to learn about this online system. We need to know what's going on with this. Nintendo has delayed this so many times, and to this day, the Switch has almost been out for a year, and we don't know anything happening with their online ecosystem. Oh, we know a price, again, something that Nintendo is very eager to tell us whenever they can make money off of us. But other than that, we don't know any features that come attached to it. And this is something that needs to be addressed. We need to know what we're paying for. And unlike most people, I need to get a good understanding of the features. I don't care that it's only $20 or $30 a year. It's so much cheaper compared to PlayStation, Xbox. You're still paying for this service. So I expect the features that we have come to, well, unfortunately, be known to pay for on those systems. We need stuff like cloud storage support for our game saves. This is crucial, especially because it concerns one of the biggest problems I have with the Switch, and that is the fact that User management is an absolute disaster. Why can't we move games on the system without having to re-download them? Why can't we use an external hard drive on the Nintendo Switch? Even if we're just in docked mode, why can't we do things that we were able to do with the Wii U? And going forward, long term, let's say we want to upgrade to a Switch version 2. Let's say we have 2 Switches on the go. We have one at home and one that we take with us. Let's say that our Nintendo Switch breaks. How are we going to get access to our save data if it is saved on the console itself? Why can't they be uploaded to a cloud storage like Sony does and like Steam? This is something that has become so accessible to a lot of gamers, and it's something that Nintendo should have launched with, because cloud support for all these things, being able to upload your data, is the future. Take, for example, smartphones, man. Google Backup for all your contacts. No longer do you have to transfer stuff with the USB cable from one phone to another. You could just back everything up, and wherever you go, whether you're making a call on the computer or on your tablet or on your brand new phone, you have access to your contacts. So that right there is another big factor that I want to see addressed. I want to see this included with the online system. And even if we have to pay for it, so be it. It needs to be there. It is essential. And if you're not going to do that, at least open up the user management system so we can swap around our game saves. We can swap around our data from one micro SD card to another micro SD card with ease. In addition to some of the other features that I want to see addressed in 2018, what is going on with the bare bones online system? Where are the messaging apps? Where is the cross-game voice chat? Where is party chat in general? Why is the Switch so lacking in that regard? If you are going to charge for an online service, I expect those basic fundamental features that freaking cell phones of 10 years ago have had. Nintendo, how do you screw up messaging features? And again, you Nintendo fanboys gotta stop damage controlling for this stuff. I don't care that you use Discord on your PC and you message your friends on Messenger. This is a game console in 2017. It needs these features that other systems have had since the original freaking Xbox. That is not up for debate. The more you guys damage control for Nintendo not doing these things and just going like, meh, it doesn't matter, you are contributing to all the problems on why Nintendo cannot be better than they are today. So y'all need to expect more from Nintendo. You need to be vocal to Nintendo about these sort of things, especially if we want the Switch to be a major success with no compromises, with no, oh, well, it's great, but the online sucks. And that's another thing. Why are we using friend codes in 2017, man? I don't know what they have to do with the online rehaul they're gonna do next year, but if I'm paying for something, the last thing I wanna do is have to go onto the device itself to get a freaking 16-digit friend code. Why can't we use account names? Why can't I easily just text my friend my account name and they can add me? Why can't we do that? Why do I have to post my Switch code everywhere because even I don't remember it? This is archaic, it is ridiculous, and it's something that shouldn't have been in the system to begin with. So Nintendo, y'all gotta do a much better job with your online, especially if you're gonna have people paying for this sort of thing. And that's another thing that we gotta focus on. If we are going to be paying money for this online service, every single multiplayer Nintendo title damn well better have an online component. I know they love single player stuff. I know they love the split Joy-Con stuff. Local play is amazing, and I'm glad Nintendo's a big proponent of it, but I'd love to play some of these games online. I would love to play something like Mario Party online. Mario Party is a game that seriously ends friendships, and the sheer fact that I have not been able to play a quality Mario Party with any of my friends for the better part of 10 plus years, that is ridiculous, because Mario Party works with online. Metroid could work with online. Donkey Kong could work with online. There are so many franchises that Nintendo has that warrant an online component added to them. And if they were to do that, it would definitely entice a lot of people to come to the system. You're already going to be charging money to make us play Splatoon and Mario Kart online, so why aren't you going to put in the extra effort, create more servers, just do what people want with these games, add longevity to it, especially if you're going to be adding DLC. Hey, that's another opportunity for you to make more money. You can add in more maps, you can add in more trinkets, you can add in costumes, you can add in a lot of stuff. You want to make money, right? You want to do stuff long term, right? Then freaking get on it. Whew, man. Now, as far as things go, those were the bulk of my major things that I want to see added to the Nintendo Switch. Of course, there's some minor things here and there, like an overall user interface refresh for the eShop. I think it's nice and clean, but navigating through that stuff and how they aggregate things need to be done better, because more often than not, if I'm looking for a game and it's not on the recent list or bestseller or on sale, I have to scroll through it and I have to find it. And it's just very disappointing, especially for discovery. Like, how are you going to discover some of these games when 20 plus games are releasing on one day, right? I think they need to improve things with the eShop as far as that is concerned. And other than that, man, yeah, they just have to modernize the system. They have to launch it with some great features and just fix all of the archaic things that exist with the Switch right now, like voice chat. I do not want to download a separate application on a separate device just to do something so basic. And y'all Nintendo fanboys better stop with this. Well, I mean, you were going to talk to your friends anyway, so why would you? That is irrelevant. If PlayStation has it, the Switch should have it. If Xbox has it, the Switch should have it. If PC has it through the main Steam application and all the other game services out there, then you damn well know the Switch should have it. Stop the damage control. Okay? Okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, those were all the things that I want to see added to the Nintendo Switch going forward into 2018. Like I said, I'm not expecting the impossible things that we would expect with a Switch V2 or a more powerful dock. Those sort of things are still up in the air. Will they happen? Will they not happen? Nobody knows. I would love to see both of those things happen, but it remains to be seen. Let me know down in the comments section what features you want to see added to the Switch in 2018. I know Virtual Console is a very big thing that people would love to see. I know something like PlayStation Plus, where you get free games every month. I think that is something that would be very great for the system. And hey, if they want to do something cool, put it online with those Virtual Console titles. I'm telling you, that right there is a game changer. Even someone who doesn't like Nintendo first-party games, they will go back and play those old titles if they had an online component. It's a lot of work, but hey, you can support it if you are having to charge $30 a year for an online infrastructure. For me, for now, my name is NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.